Alright, let's do this.
Hold it!
Jeez, so many. Hold on a minute. You saw the footprints on the steps, too. Yes, muddy footprints left by one person from the entrance all the way up. The footprints you saw. Are they the ones shown in the sketch? If these are the footprints from the bell tower, yeah. And when did you notice those footprints? After the rain, but still quite some time before the incident. Wait a second, Lywood. I don't remember you reporting this to me. Yeah, that's right. I didn't report it. Lywood, why not? I thought you were serious about your duty, at least compared to the others. Why did you neglect to report that? You're right, Captain. It was out of character. I'm sure there was a good reason why I didn't report it to you. It's no use, I've forgotten. I think I'd remember if someone could give me a clue. That guy, it's like he's teasing us. I can only hope he remembers what it was. But his testimony did give us some new info to go on. The culprit entered the bell tower soon after the rain stopped.
Hold it!
You, oh yeah, Mr. Shaky, right? Why is he so broken up? Yes, Shaky's the name. Are you feeling okay? Yes, I'm perfectly peachy. Looks can be deceiving. Did you see anything around the time of the incident? I've told you. My eyes were hazy, I was dizzy, and the ringing in my ears like the crying of a girl. That's okay. That's all I wanted to know. But what I'd like to know is how Mr. Shaky got into the vigilantes in the first place. Maya, maybe it's better not to ask.
Hold it!
A butterfly, you say? Yes, a butterfly happily fluttering around, watching us from above. When I saw it, I thought maybe my goddess has turned into this butterfly. What are you talking about? Gracefully moving from one flower to the next, like my goddess of love. The divine Foxy. I'm the steel angel gracing the vigilantes with my sweet presence. My name is Foxy. Don't you dare forget it. Nick, about that butterfly. I think that must have been a witch using a transformation spell. Seriously, you think a witch turned into a butterfly and flew up the bell tower? By the way, what happened to that butterfly? Ah, well, it carelessly flew straight into the fire torch and burned. Huh? I feel enlightened by that sight. The butterfly cannot resist its dangerous attraction to the flames, even if it results in death. Perfect, thank you. That was quite something to reply. I wasn't.
Hold it!
So you have steel high heels. Yes, boy. See? Fox's heels are always polished to sparkle. Wow, I can see myself in the reflection. They're like mirrors. Did you notice anything suspicious during the incident? Not really. I was busy having some tea at the time. You were having tea? I made it for her. Tea with milk is just the thing for rainy afternoons. But weren't you supposed to be guarding the bell tower? I couldn't possibly walk around in the rain. My stilettos would get dirty. Ah, these lovely stilettos, their tips as sharp as Inquisitor Barnum's sword. And when they grind against my armor with such force and passion, I am the happiest man on earth. Would you like me to squish you under my stilettos? Just say the word. No, I'm fine. Thanks. It's not every day someone offers to tread on you. Maybe it's a Labyrinthian custom. I get walked all over in court often enough as is.
Hold it!
I have no idea what you mean. You're such a hopeless man. Actually, all men are. Don't you also dream of feeling that beautiful pointed tip of her shoes brutally digging into your back? Do you, Nick? No. Anyway, you mentioned us. Are there more fans of Foxy's? Yeah, sure are. Servius is one of us too. Yeah, I suspected he meant that guy. Oh ho, that look. You're not averse to that sort of thing either, Defender? In that case, have a look at this. This is the mark left by Foxy's stiletto. Wow, isn't that amazing? I must say, you've been quite beautifully trodden on there. See how exquisitely tapers to a point? This deserves to be called art. Oh, I'm so jealous, Servius. Such charming beauty born from dirty mud. About that muddy footprint. Why didn't you wash it off? But don't be silly. Have you ever exchanged a handshake with a beautiful singer? It's just like that. Anyway, Foxy was wearing high heels that whole time. That's an important point, I think.
Hold it!
You discovered the intruder. Can you tell me more about that? It's Mill. Excuse me? If you want to ask me something, address me by my name. Make fun of me, 'cause I'm a baron, and I'll make you regret it. Oh, okay. Chuck Mill? Can't get it right, can you? I'm not talking to ya, only me. Ah, come on. Chuck Mill. Can you please tell us what you know? This evening during the incident, what did you see? Sure, I saw the witch's footprints. That's what I saw. Good job, Maya. But how? Sounds kind of Mayan? Chuck Mill. Do you mean these footprints drawn in the sketch? Aye, those are the ones. And then what did you do after discovering the intruder? The chief told me to report only intruder I saw, right?
Hang on!
Excuse me, Mr. Boystrom? Oh! What's this, out of the blue? Have some respect for the vigilantes. Is there anything you'd like to comment on from number 9's testimony? Comment? Oh, well, certainly. I remembered about his report. Strange footprints appeared on the bell tower staircase. Why didn't you investigate as soon as it was reported to you? We're the fast-footed vigilantes, the most dutiful of knights, giving our all for the utmost sense of accomplishment. It is unthinkable that we would not launch an investigation after a report like that. And yet I don't recall any such report being passed on to the Inquisition. That's right. I had my hands full with assigning tasks to each of the vigilantes myself, so I got hold of a reliable vigilante and gave him the following order. Investigate the suspicious footprints that appeared in the staircase immediately. That's what I said to him. Who was that reliable vigilante? It was... I'm having a bit of trouble remembering just who it was. I'm sure it was a young and high-spirited vigilante.
Hang on!
Can I ask you something, Mr. Shaky? Nick, don't. You can't expose that poor guy to your ruthless questioning. Just look at him. He may not be able to make it. How am I supposed to talk to him, then? Let's try this again. Please excuse me, Mr. Shaky. The person the captain asked to investigate the suspicious footprints. Was that you by any chance? Yes. What? It was him? I feel compelled to say this, but... although Mr. Shaky may be young, very few would describe him as high-spirited. Huh? What? That may be so, but, well, what of it? Mr. Shaky, did you not follow your orders? Didn't you investigate the footprints? I investigated them, of course. Orders are orders. Everyone looked to be very busy, and no one would listen to me. Now someone finally asked me about it. Vigilante Shaky, ready to report. That was a very convoluted testimony. But at least now we know that this young man's report didn't reach anyone because his seniors were too busy to listen. Yeah, people treat me like a baron. Did my report go to waste? Ah, now I remember. Huh? What are you talking about? Yes, I saw them. I saw the muddy footprints in the bell tower. But I didn't report it to the chief, and now I remember why I didn't report it. If that is the case, you will add it to your testimony. Yes, my lord. When I saw those muddy footprints at first, I figured they were Foxy's.
Objection!
You seem pretty sure that the footprints on the bell tower were Miss Foxy's. In other words, the footprints you saw were stiletto footprints with pointy tips. Yeah, pointy. They were hers for sure. And yet we have a sketch of the footprints as they were found after the incident. Oh, those footprints, they have rounded tips. So you see, Mr. Lywood, your testimony contradicts the evidence. No way. That sketch was drawn by the court illustrator based on how we found the crime scene immediately after the incident. I can guarantee that the sketch is accurate. Well, I saw what I saw. There's no way I was wrong. How can you say that? The reason is pretty simple. If I'd seen footprints like those in the sketch, it wouldn't have occurred to me that they might be Foxy's. Exactly, those are nothing like Foxy's. Sweet Foxy's footprints look like this. This is quite puzzling. Perhaps the defense can explain this contradiction? Only one trail of footprints was found on the bell tower. One of the witnesses claimed the footprints had pointy tips, but the court illustrator's sketch of the crime scene shows they were rounded. Is the witness account correct, or is the sketch that shows the truth? Both the witnesses and the sketch are correct, Your Honor. But two different types of footprints were observed in the bell tower. Now, if neither party is mistaken, it means that two trails of footprints were left on the stairs.
Objection!
It's so obvious I shouldn't have to mention it, but if you trust that the sketch presents the facts accurately, there was only one trail left on these steps. You can see it quite clearly.
Objection!
Actually, it's possible the sketch is showing two trails. Psh, how would that be? Let's organize this evening's events on a timeline. Mr. Lywood discovered the footprints soon after the rain stopped. Which means that at that point someone had already entered the bell tower. Yes, that would be the case. The footprints that were observed then had pointy tips. And then sometime later, another person went up these stairs. But that person left different footprints, footprints that had rounded tips. Oh, I think I can see where this is going. I'm glad you follow, Your Honor. You see, the second person walked on the footprints that had already been left, perfectly covering them up as they went. What? This explains why only one trail of footprints was left.
Objection!
Preposterous. That's just too far-fetched. What makes you say that? Even we can tell you that much. There's no way there were two intruders. It's a big stretch, honey. And if a body either was a witch that was invisible, we would have seen the other one. What you're saying makes sense, but it's a fact that none of you noticed the second intruder. And the only explanation for that is that the second intruder was also a witch, who had also made herself invisible when she entered the bell tower. What? What the heck? Order, order, order! There were 2 witches?
Attention.
Ludicrous. Are you honestly suggesting that 2 witches managed to sneak into the bell tower? It may seem ludicrous to you, but you can't say it's not a possibility. It's easy to bat around possibilities, but your theory alone doesn't change anything. Or perhaps you have some proof to support your little story? Because we do have proof that Espella Cantabella was in fact in the bell tower at the time of the crime. Not only was she seen by many people, but this was found at the crime scene afterwards too. Espella's pendant, huh? If you think there was one more person in the bell tower, then prove it, defender. Very well then, the defense shall present evidence. Yeah,
Take that.
the robe. She wasn't wearing that. Oh, that's a, what is it? This robe was found at the top floor of the bell tower. As you can see, it's way too big for Espella. Yes, indeed. It would seem to belong to a much taller person. Vigilante, I'd like you all to confirm something for me. You have been guarding the bell tower ever since it appeared, correct? Indeed, we have, sir. Had anyone ever gone up the bell tower before the incident this evening? Of course not. What would be our purpose if we freely allowed people inside? Suspicious or not, sadly, no one ever approached our bell tower. I see, but then... How did this robe get up there? Do you get it now? There must have been a second witch in the bell tower. Order, order! So there were 2 witches inside that tower? Exactly, Your Honor. It's true that the defendant was seen in the bell tower at the time of the crime. But if another witch was present too, it's impossible to say for sure that it was Miss Cantabella who summoned the fire dragon. Wow. Calm down, everyone. We must not let this defender confuddle our understanding of the situation. It was the Great Witch Bazella that summoned the fire dragon. I'm gonna expose it for what she is. We've braved fierce rapids, scaled high mountains, and crossed vast plains to testify in this court and expose the Great Witch. You haven't done nothing. What are they talking about? You're no sin. High Inquisitor Darklaw, permit us to testify again. You believe you can reveal the truth about the accused? Yes, Lady Darklaw. We may be just a bunch of commoners, but we shall offer you our testimony with passion, purpose, and plausibility. Let us speak now for the sake of Labyrinthia. Oh man, for the sake of my sanity, please don't speak. Permission granted. May your words be as sharp as swords, and cut through all lies and fallacy straight to the truth. The storyteller finished speaking to the crowd at the town square in the evening. That's when the Great Witch appeared. I still cannot forget the sound of that terrible incantation. It was undoubtedly that girl's voice. We ran towards the tower as soon as we saw her, keeping our eyes on her to make sure she didn't escape. We split into 2 groups at the entrance. One group to guard, the others to chase down the witch. I was in the first group. I was one of the pursuers. I ran into the tower and caught the witch. There was no one but us at the crime scene. We captured the girl. There was nowhere for anyone to hide there. There was no other witch, I'm sure of it. I was guarding the entrance. I heard the door lock. That's right, young one. The fateful bell tower, the fateful incident, we saw them with our own fateful eyes. Y'all did the best you could. The vigilantes were the first to arrive on the crime scene. Their testimony is credible. It does seem so. What if they say it is indeed true? It would be decisive proof of the accused's guilt. Our opponent is a witch, the Great Witch, to be exact. Things probably aren't as simple as they seem. If you think so, feel free to look for any cracks in their testimony, if there are any, and if you're up to it. Oh, man. The storyteller finished speaking to the crowd. It was undoubtedly that girl. Ran towards the tower as soon as saw her. I feel so sorry for that dude. There's nowhere for anyone to hide. See though, but the ladder up here, she could have easily went up there, right?
Objection!
If maybe and pulled the ladder up? Okay, that worked too. The eyes of the whole town were on the bell tower, and the entrance was locked. Witches may be able to make themselves invisible, but they can't physically disappear. Which means it's not unreasonable to suggest that escaping from the bell tower was nearly impossible. However, hiding themselves after the incident is a different story. That's the sketch of the bell tower, isn't it? Most fascinating. Well, Defender, how about you show us? Enlighten us as to where exactly the witch could have hidden. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that.
Got it!
She hid here, of course, at the very top of the bell tower.
Objection!
It may seem like a plausible place to hide. However, that part of the bell tower is inaccessible to anyone. The stairs don't go up as far as the belfry. High Inquisitor Darklord, we're talking about a witch here. A witch can do lots of things that are impossible to us with the use of magic. If you were a true knight of the court, you'd show us evidence rather than trying to justify your vague theories with the use of magic. Nah, she kinda has a point, Nick. How else could someone get to the top of the bell tower? There has to be a way. Was it magic or something a little more plausible? Whatever it was, I need proof. Okay.
Hold it!
A witch could have used magic to remain unseen. Sorry to disappoint you, but no one used any magic at that time. What makes you so sure? To cast a spell, a witch needs to say that spell's incantation. And we heard no incantation, nor any other suspicious noises.
Hang on!
Excuse me, Mr. Wordsmith. I do not know anyone by that name. Yeah. Anyway, would you like to comment on Mr. Tredden's testimony? I see. You have nothing to say. He's in Greenfield mode again. Do not rush to conclusion, young one. I am on a green field, sky-clad, watching petals dancing in the wind. Yep, I knew you'd say that. And yet a single shaft of light has shone through the dark abyss of my memory. I heard something in the bell tower when we went to apprehend the witch. What did you hear? Was it an incantation? No, it wasn't an incantation. Nevertheless, it sounded like a woman's voice. Mr. Wordsmith, this is extremely important information. Please add this to your testimony. Yes, I shall do that. It's best that I tell you about it now before I forget. As the defender requested, you will now testify about the sound you heard. A woman's voice, a faint, delicate sobbing, no less.
Objection!
The defense has a theory regarding the source of those strange sounds. It was most likely this. This mechanism is on the middle floor of the bell tower. That reminds me. There was some contraption up there, unlike anything I'd seen before. That's right, Chief. We never touched it, though. How about we try operating that contraption to see what it does? We might just be able to reproduce the sound that Mr. Lotterlance heard at the crime scene. Right. You might be onto something. But it was I who testified about it before that young man. I talked about it too. Well, you've got my curiosity. Let's see. You set that contraption in motion. My lord, just leave it to me. As you have seen, or rather heard, it's clear that device was operating shortly after the incident.
Objection!
This doesn't change the fact that we know nothing about what that contraption does. Your demonstration hasn't led us to any valuable conclusion.
Objection!
Remember our demonstration a little while ago? Demonstration? Are you referring to that silly contraption?
Objection!
That contraption serves as a very specific function. The plan of the bell tower shows no stairs leading up to the belfry. Now, if you think about it, in relation to the plan, it's obvious what this contraption is for. It's a mechanism enabling access up to the belfry. What? Is that what it is? Order, order! Another witch was in the bell tower when the incident happened. And the reason she wasn't discovered is because she used that contraption to reach the belfry and hide up there.
Objection!
Hold your horse, defender. You seem oblivious to the contradiction in your reasoning. What do you mean? I'm talking about your little demonstration earlier. Yes, the device was set in motion and made some strange noises, and yet that's all it did. That's right, nothing else happened. If it was a device for accessing the top of the tower, then why didn't it take us there? Ergo, that contraption is of no relevance to this case. Which brings us back to my erstwhile conclusion that there was no other way.
Objection!
It's too early to say that, High Inquisitor. And why is that? Sure, our demonstration didn't work it, but maybe the device didn't work because it wasn't used correctly. What? Why do you think so? My reasoning is simple. Let's just say it would be troublesome if just anyone could go up and sound that bell. So it's reasonable to assume that access to the belfry would be restricted. In other words, that a special key would be needed. A key? And I think I know just what that key is. Your whole theory rests solely upon that contraption. If it doesn't allow access to the belfry, then your reasoning is completely wrong. I'm sure you know what that would mean for Espella. Your mistake would seal her fate. I'm aware of that.
Take that!
The key to the contraption is this pendant. That belongs to the accused, doesn't it? That's right. We found it at the crime scene. Now, if you take a look at the bottom part of this contraption, there's a depression here about the exact same size as the pendant. Oh yes, I remember it. A hole in the shape of that pendant. But I don't get it. Why would that pendant be the key to the bell tower? I don't know either. At least not for now. But the point is, it definitely is. With this pendant, we should be able to operate the contraption and access the belfry. Well then, the court will grant the defense a chance to prove its assertion. However, you shall be given one chance only. Are you ready, defender? Make sure you are prepared for the consequences of a mistake. This will be your only chance. If it doesn't work, that will be the end of it. Yes, I'm ready. I've got to be right about this. Good. To be honest, this looks like a puzzle. I wish the professor was here. This is totally his field of expertise. Are you ready, Nick? Should we give it a try? Yeah, it's gotta work. A spell of fate depends on this. Talk about pressure. I've got to stay calm. She gained consciousness. Sorry about that, guys. My mic kind of goes off. Is she okay? Well, despite seeming a bit confused, she's in better shape now. Although, I wouldn't describe her situation as okay. Quite the opposite, in fact. Don't tell me you've forgotten your agreement with the judge. You failed to prove your theory, and so the accused's fate has been decided. There's nothing I can say to that. Attendant, bring in the accused.
Accused, the trial has reached its conclusion in your absence. The court shall now announce its verdict.
The verdict. You are the Great Witch, and your true name is Bezella. This evening, a terrible crime took place. You killed your father, the storyteller, using the spell Grandworm. Does the accused have anything to say?
Yes, I am Bezella, the one that brought calamity upon this town. And my memories are proof of this. I remember the legendary fire in which this town was burned to the ground. And this day, several hours ago, I summoned a fire dragon and took my own father's life. there is no doubt that the Great Witch is a part of me.
Wait,
I
her
understand.
pendant.
Hold it!
Her wristband thing. You're under spell. Don't give up just yet. Fool. What? What? You've been fighting a battle in this court. You have come here with your logic, finding contradictions to astound everyone. It was your battle, not hers. So how can you be telling her not to give up when you have already dropped your sword? If you are a true knight of the court, you will fight your battle to the end. Why is she telling me this? It almost sounds like she's encouraging me. Is she waiting for something?
No, it's okay, Mr. Wright. Ever since I was little, I can only remember being all alone. But that's not really true. There were people who were dear to me and memories that I cherished. At least, I think there were. But I've already lost all that. They were taken from me the moment I became Bezella. Horace Bella! Since then, I started working at Aunt Patty's bakery. I met Mr. Wright, Maya, Mr. Layton, and Luke. The four of you did all you could to help me. I am truly happy to have met you, but blame for the Great Witch's crimes rests solely on my shoulders. So let's put an end to this now. Bezella must not remain in this town. Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Spella. Well then, it's time for the final verdict. Think, Phoenix, think. Isn't there anything I can do? I just need something. Anything that could offer even a single glimmer of hope in this darkness of despair. There's gotta be something, right?
Objection!
Your Honor, please hold off with the verdict. What's that, Defender? It's too early to pass the final judgment on Spella. But, explain yourself. You said earlier that the trial has reached its conclusion. But, there's something we have yet to examine. What are you suggesting? Do you mean to say you have some new evidence? But surely there can't possibly be any new evidence at this late stage. Very well, Defender. We shall play along with you just one more time. Now, show us this evidence that we haven't yet seen. The new crucial piece of evidence is... There's only one place where it can be. It's in Spella's possession. I have it? I saw it for a second. Something there that she couldn't have. An item that contradicts what we've heard. My gut feeling tells me that item is the key to this whole case. Most interesting. I shall enjoy watching you hopelessly struggle through this like a fish caught in a net. Now, Defender, show us this new evidence that the accused supposedly has in her possession.
Got it!
Spella, can I see the bracelet on your left hand? Yes, certainly, if you'd like. It's actually a pendant, you know? But the strap got torn somehow when I was up in the bell tower. That's why I've had it around my wrist since, well, just before this trial started.
But this pendant, it looks exactly the same as the one we already have here. Wait a minute, what's all this? We confiscated her pendant at the crime scene.
Why is she wearing it now? I don't get it. It's giving me a headache. So I was right. I have another question about this pendant. Miss Bella, do you remember when exactly the strap broke? I'm trying to remember, but no, I can't. I know it was still when we parted ways, but... In other words, she has no memory of it. She doesn't remember when it broke or when she tied it to her wrist. That's certainly bizarre, I must say. Your pendant has already been submitted as evidence.
Objection!
And yet Espella still has her pendant. That's a fact we can all attest to, which means... there must have been two pendants to begin with. Really?
Objection!
So there are two, and the accused was caught red-handed at the crime scene. Whether this pendant is hers or not doesn't change anything. Yeah. She was caught red-handed by us, the vigilantes. This pendant proves something crucial to this case. Can't be more crucial than us catching her at the crime scene. The second pendant wasn't dropped by Espella. So as the defense already suggested, one more person was at the crime scene. What? What? Ooh. Dude, all of them. Order. Accused, submit your pendant as evidence this instant. Yes, my lord. Nick? If we have two pendants to work with, maybe we can see if that strange contraption will work this time. Now it makes sense. That must be why it didn't work before. Your Honor, the defense would like to try operating the mechanism in the bell tower one more time. What? Why now? The contraption didn't work before because we only had one pendant. But both pendants are needed to operate it properly. Foolishness. Try as many times as you like, it's no use. Inquisitor Darklaw, you know this is a waste of time. If it's not going to work anyway, why not let the defender see for himself? What? Defender, if you think you can operate the contraption with two pendants, then I suggest you go ahead and try it, unless it has already dawned upon you that such a plan is futile. The defense shall be given one more chance to verify its theory about the aforementioned contraption. Let us make our way to the bell tower. This is going to be your last try. I know. Are you not terrified? The life of the accused rests in your shaky hands. We won't be having any more let me try again, please, your honors. Besides, you must be aware that this puzzle may well be unsolvable. I wouldn't have been able to solve a puzzle like this before arriving here in Labyrinthia. But now I'm sure I can take on this puzzle. Any puzzle. And it's all thanks to you, Professor. You taught me that every puzzle has a solution. I have everything I need now. What do you say, Maya? Should we hurry up and get started? Sure thing. It's puzzle busting time. Alright. Here we go. So we got two now. So if I rotate this like that, rotate this like that, that'll hit that. If I rotate that there, like that.
it is. Right? I hit both of them. Didn't I? I'm confused. I hit both of them.
There we go. Got it.
The answer here is obvious. This ace attorney just aced this puzzle.
I'm sure I did it right. Nothing happens. The sound. I did it. This is... What an astounding contraption. What do we have here? It's still no comparison to the incomparable astoundingness of Mother Nature. Oh, I'd like to climb up those stairs. I like being on the top. We shall escort you. I'm gonna die. Okay, Nick. Let's go see what's up there.
Nick, isn't this bell...
Yeah, I think you're right. That's the bell that was taken from underground. The bell of ruin. The bell that must not be sounded.
Nick, there's someone hiding behind the bell.
Ah,
Kira!
it's you. Now that's the last person I expected to find here. Miss Kira.
It's so quiet in here. It's not a sound to be heard. Let's be very careful, though, Luke. The puzzle we just dealt with is not necessarily the only one in place here. Right you are, Professor. Let's proceed with caution. Is this what I think it is? It looks like a lift. Indeed it does. Looks like a lot... It looks a lot like the kind of lift with which we are well acquainted. But we haven't seen anything else like this since we've arrived in Labyrinthia. Yes, quite. In truth, I didn't think machinery of this sort existed here. I wonder what it's using as a source of power. Well, since there seems to be no other way out, does that mean we get to ride it? Indeed. That would seem the most logical course of action. I must say, I find the presence of such a device most intriguing. But we can't stand around pondering such things now. There will be time for that later. Onwards and upwards. Right then, let's go. I know I keep saying this, Luke, but bear in mind that we must proceed with caution. I'm with you on that one, Professor. Professor, we've stopped. What's going on here? Are we trapped? No, I don't believe so. Although I do get the feeling that something is about to happen. Something, Professor? What do you mean by something? Luke, stand close to me. Okay. Oh, a puzzle. Tower of Talent. Stone statue stands before you. Beneath it lies a panel with that appears to have once been a crest of some kind, now a disjointed mess. Move the panels by touching the arrows that connect them and rearrange the pieces. So the crest is displayed. Okay. Did it, and with 4 turns. Wow.
Let's see if I
How the heck did I get that?
You should expect no less from a gentleman.
Well, we've started moving again. It would seem this entire lift is in itself another puzzle. I don't believe we're in the clear just yet. This may take a while. We've stopped again. Another stage of the puzzle? Indeed. That would appear to be the case. I'll take on this one, Professor. Alright, but don't overexert yourself. We need to work together to solve the rest of this puzzle. Roger that. Is it the same exact one? Oh, it is. Just a new design. Alright. Dang it.
allow me to show you my puzzle-solving skills. That was indeed an intriguing puzzle.
You stopped again. Man, I'm running through these puzzles. Well then, allow me to take this one. Oh gosh, this is a really hard looking one. 6 turns to do this too. Okay, I gotta think. It's like a bull spirit. Or like a dart thing. Yay! Did it.
I've already seen the answer. Come what may, puzzles are there to be solved. That was an exceedingly difficult puzzle.
The next stop must be our destination.
I think you're probably right, Luke.
Well, this is it, Professor.
Man, like labyrinth, yeah.
It seems we have arrived at last.
Wow, this is certainly different. There are flowers and plants everywhere. I can even see a water wheel over there.
It is a beautiful place.
This evening breeze is a little chilly. So, is this the storyteller's garden then?
I think that's probably a safe assumption, Luke. Judging by the abundance of water and rose bushes, it's being well taken care of. I'd be inclined to say the tower seems more akin to a castle.
Who'd have imagined we'd end up in a beautiful place like this? Let's investigate.
This building is really something else. I guess this part must be the storyteller's house. Aspella must have lived here when she was younger.
Yes, indeed. This must have been her family home.
Her family. I wonder if she had any plans to ever come back here.
No matter where she goes or what she does, family is family. This will always be her home. I'd say it's highly likely that she would wish to come back here someday.
I suppose so. Even if her family was only the two of them.
The relationship between Aspella and her father may well prove to be an important clue.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
Huh? What's the matter, Luke?
It's nothing. Probably seeing things, but for a moment there I thought I saw something moving. Must have been my imagination. Let's go.
This appears to be a child's room. It certainly looks that way. From its condition, I'd say it hasn't been used for some time. Presumably, it was used by Aspella as a child.
Right. So this is where Aspella grew up. Something pretty big must have happened to make her leave home so young. I wonder how Aspella and the storyteller used to get on together.
Aspella is a young lady of strong conviction and a kind heart. I'm certain that's because she grew up within a fine home environment. In other words, I'm sure she and her father must have spent some quality time here together.
Yeah, I have a feeling you're right about that. For Aspella, this place must be full of precious memories. I almost feel we're intruding coming in here.
But Luke, we have no choice if we wish to save Aspella.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. When you put it like that, I guess she wouldn't mind even if she knew.
Oh, we can zoom in on this thing.
Crikey! Professor, behind that curtain, there's someone there.
Oh, it was a doll. The mysterious figure turned out to be just a doll.
Phew, that's a relief. My heart was in my mouth.
Aspella must have played with this doll as a child.
What's this? Look, Professor, there's a child's picture book here. The title is The First Story.
It would appear to be a handmade children's picture book.
I wonder if it was written especially for Aspella.
It may well have been. Evidently, a great deal of loving care has been put into the writing and illustration. There is a bad witch in the town. All of the carrots in the field disappeared, and all the money in the bank was turned into pumpkins. The people of the town had to put up with all kinds of mischief from the witch. They didn't know what to do. Then one day a brave young girl appeared and said to the townsfolk, "When the witch uses witchcraft, she always uses a big stick, doesn't she? So if we take away her stick, we'll be able to stop her." After hearing this, the people of the town set a trap for the witch and managed to capture her. At her trial, the bad witch said this to the people: "Even now, the legendary great witch Bezella is living here in this town. Bezella is the queen of all the witches. She's the one who gives us witches' life." The townsfolk punished the witch, and peace was restored to the town once more. To this day, Bezella is still hiding somewhere in the town. But the brave townsfolk will not be beaten by the bad witches.
Cute story. Who'd have thought that would be a fairy tale about Bezella? She's a mysterious character, alright?
Tell me, Luke, why do you think the author chose to write about Bezella in a children's picture book?
Huh? Well, maybe to make their child behave? Something like, if you don't do as you're told, Bezella will come and get you?
Yes, indeed. That is a possibility. Still, I have to wonder, why is it that some lowly witch was caught and not the great Bezella herself?
Well, I suppose it is a bit strange. If Bezella herself had been caught, the story could have been brought to a more conclusive ending. Do you think there's some other reason?
It's certainly a possibility. I don't suppose there are any other handmade picture books in the room apart from this one.
Handmade picture books. I don't see any. I guess it must be the only one.
Which would imply this book has some special significance.
I guess so. After all, it is handmade. I bet you really treasured it. Do you think it was the storyteller who wrote this book?
The handwriting does seem very similar to that of the story. This book appears to have been written with a touch more care and attention, but I imagine it was the storyteller who wrote it.
He must have written it as a gift from father to daughter. That actually seems really thoughtful, even if the story itself is a little scary. I'd like to take this book to Spella.
Yes, let's do that, Luke. We must take good care of it.
Alright, let's go through the door.
I believe we've seen all there is to see here. Let's press on. Storyteller's room.
Heck yeah, we're going up there.
What do you make of this room, Professor?
It's not very tidy.
There's a lot of weird stuff here. This appears to be the very top room of the tower. The parchment lying on the floor here seems very similar to the type on which the storyteller writes his stories. I think we can say with some certainty that this is the storyteller's room.
Huh? This is the storyteller's room? I was imagining something a bit grander, like a throne room with all kinds of posh decorations.
Well, I agree that it's a little eccentric. It's unmistakably the study of an author. He probably spent all his time in here continuously writing those stories.
The stories. I wonder what Spella thought of it all. Her father writing stories for all the townsfolk, I mean. I wonder if she looked forward to seeing the new stories completed, or if she...
The stories were probably a little too mature in content for a young child. I don't imagine the storyteller would have shown Spella many of them.
But in that case, surely she can't have had many opportunities to even talk to her father, given how busy he was. I guess that means she was pretty lonely. It must have been hard for her, even knowing how important those stories are for the people of the town. But I don't think it's right. No child should be unable to talk with their father.
I absolutely agree, Luke. I believe it will be important in the upcoming trial to have an understanding of Spella's feelings towards her father. Professor, knowing you, Luke, I'm sure you must have a lot of things on your mind at the moment. So if there's something at all that you want to talk about, you will tell me, won't you?
Of course I will, Professor.
I'm always ready to listen, Luke. Now, shall we start investigating this room?
Look, it's a photograph. Wait, I didn't think they even had photographs in this town.
Yeah, they always did sketches.
not the kind of thing one would have expected to find here. Too right. Certainly haven't seen any cameras about since we got here. There's no doubt that this is a photo through... Though what could that mean? This may be in some way related to the tower, being so closely protected. What do you see in the photograph? There are 2 children, both young girls. The photo looks quite old, doesn't it? I wonder who they are. That looks like, Darklaw. Darklaw and Espella, right? Well, one of them is surely Espella. There can be little doubt about that. You're right. Look at that pendant. It's the same one Espella always wears. The fact that she's continued to wear it ever since shows just how important that pendant must be to her. What about this other girl? Do you think she's a friend of Espella? Indeed, I'd wager the 2 of them were rather close friends at that. They do look pretty chummy, alright. See, they even have the same pendant. A glimpse into Espella's past. This may well prove to be an important clue. I would like to ask her about it face to face. Let's borrow it for the time being. I wonder if there are any other clues knocking around. Well, I'd say there's something that you thought you saw moving earlier is a point worth pursuing. But isn't this the last room in the tower? You must have just been imagining things. Not necessarily, Luke. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a way of getting beyond even this room. Let's look around more closely. Right. Oh wait, this was that. I'll take that. Oh. You gonna look at the piano? This is... What is it, Luke? This letter on top of the piano. This was evidence during the trial. That trial, my boy. Yes, the trial about Sir Belding's death. The trial when you were... Ah, you mean when I was turned to gold. In which case this letter is the one that the storyteller's owl, Hoot, gave us after we last paid him a visit. Well, yeah, it is, but that letter was completely blank, wasn't it? Indeed it was. That was meant to be Sir Belding's suicide note, which he's addressed to the storyteller. His suicide note, you say? But Sir Belding's butler swapped the letter for some plain sheets of parchment before it got delivered. And those blank sheets were given to us by Mr. Hoot, who knew something was strange about them. I see. I certainly missed out on some intriguing developments during my absence. The real suicide note was revealed at the trial. But how has it ended up here? Well, I imagine that's quite simple, Luke. It's likely that after the trial finished, the letter was returned to its rightful owner. It was addressed to the storyteller, after all. Right, I guess that does make sense. Suppose the storyteller finally had a chance to actually read it then. Yes, in fact, it would be reasonable to assume that he is most likely did so very recently, perhaps even today while sitting at the piano. What on earth was going through his mind here before that final parade? There's something we're not seeing here. We need to investigate this closely. What could it be? Surely this is not a trap of some kind. It's unlikely that a trap would be so obvious. Just a moment. There's some kind of puzzle in this piano. Oh, another puzzle. Musical score. Arrange the musical notes to create a lovely melody. Okay, so...
already seen the answer.
Damn
This
it.
is not as easy as it appears. Allow me to show you my puzzle-solving skills.
Yes. Got
Come
it.
what may, puzzles are there to be solved.
Look, Professor! A stairway just appeared. Could there be another room above this one?
I have a feeling that the rooftop we saw from the garden continues above here.
Oh, I can see what you mean, Professor. It's really dark in here. But moonlight seems to be coming in from up above.
Well, there's no turning back now. The answer to the biggest mystery of all is surely waiting for us ahead.
Ooh, I wonder what that is.
I think so too, Professor.
The next step in the storyteller's story, if I'm not mistaken.
The next step? But the story has already finished, hasn't it?
Not yet, Luke. It's still a little too soon for the ending.
Hey, he's alive. What?
I had a feeling that you, of all people, would make it this far.
It's you!
I thought so. You are
What?
still alive.
Professor Layton, I've had enough of your running around, flagrantly contravening the flow of my story. As such, I can no longer ignore your meddling.
Professor!
Oh no. Grab the sword.
Professor!
Uh-oh. Ah, the professor's gonna go nuts on him.
Thank you, my boy.
Oh, sword battle. Battle of wits. All that the storyteller writes is destined to come true. Your opponent's attacks are no exception. Memorize the storyteller's tale and deflect your opponent's predetermined moves. Okay. I'm afraid your role in the story ends here, Professor. Now allow me to write the tale of your demise. The knight drew his blade. As the battle came to a close, he raised his blade overhead to deliver the finishing blow.